Teresa, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a really special video, and it's in a collaboration / challenge with me and another YouTuber. She does really great DIYs and does a lot of Dollar Tree shopping with me's and hauls, and she's really great. You need to go check her out if you haven't heard of her before. And her YouTube channel name, I have to look at it to make sure I don't get it wrong, is A Dollar Tree Mimi's World. She's really wonderful, just super sweet. You're going to love her if you haven't seen her videos before. It was a funny story. We comment back and forth on each other's videos, and I think at one point I had done something similar to what she was doing, and then I commented on something saying like, oh hey, I'm making a video just like this, and on the last time around I was like, you know, we should try to collaborate on purpose. So that's kind of what this is. We all, she picked out 3 items, and you'll see that in the clip in just a minute. She picked out 3, I picked out 3, and then we had to make something out of those. So go ahead and take a look at her video as well after you're finished with mine. I will have it linked below, and let me know if you try to make any of this, if any of you guys out there are YouTubers and you want to do the same, let us know, and we're going to try to probably put together like a playlist. So if that happens, I will link it down below as well. So take a look at everything and let me know what you think. If you make any of these, let me know on Instagram as well. I'll have my Instagram name down below as well. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.
So first are the items that she chose. She chose this tinsel item. I told her I had the tree, so we could do that one. And then she chose to have the ties. I didn't have the ties, but I do have the garland, so it's very similar. And some Dollar Tree twine. And then the items I chose were a village house, the galvanized tin bucket, and a shadow box. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the video. First, we're going to tackle the tinsel tree. We're going to remove all of the tinsel off of it, and I'm going to use this little buffalo check hat to cover the tree. Now, this does come from my stash. I did not go out and buy it special for this project. I believe I have another 2 of these somewhere in my stash, so you might see it again somewhere. So I thought at first it was going to be easy and I could just slide it in there and it would fit. I don't know why I thought it would be that simple, but so I'm just going to take off the trim. I'm going to use that again. That stuff is super cute. It's part of the reason why I actually bought the hat. And what we're going to do next is we're just going to go ahead and cut the material to hopefully get to the point where it fits. I'm just checking it here just to make sure I have enough, and I'm thinking like, oh, see, all I have to do is just tighten it down and it'll fit just perfectly. Do you think that's the case? Of course not, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So I will just hot glue it down. See, here I am thinking like just fold it down, and I came to the conclusion it's just going to end up being too bulky. So I'm going to just trim off part of it, and I will say when you do this, don't trim off as much as I just did. If you repeat this, don't just trim it like cutting it open. Don't trim it and take off material, because I certainly here in the minute you'll see I needed more. So it's alright though, we make it work. So here we go. I'm going to fold it down, and notice that I do end up needing some, but I get rid of that bottom layer of the red. It's almost a little mesh-like, but it's not mesh, if you know what I mean. And I think I needed to, yep, here I am just going to say like do like almost like a little bit of a seam so it doesn't look so rough from where I cut it. And next we're just going to try to secure some more of that first side that we glued down. I glued down a little bit of it already, and just kind of trying to get it to fit in there, and I'm just kind of gluing as I go, and I will come to the conclusion, of course, that I needed more, but it happens. So we'll just sit it down, try to get it nice and, you know, secure. You're going to make sure you let the glue dry just a little bit before you kind of let go. And I'm going to take off some of that piece that I cut and try to kind of mask that little hole that I have. As you can see, the hand in the front there is someone is apparently trying to help clean up my paint stains that I have on the desk. She was attracted to that little thing because it was pink. Everything has to be pink. So what I'm going to do, actually, you're not going to be able to see that it has that patch of material that is not correct, because we're going to go in with our twine. That is another challenge item. And we're just going to start off by putting just a little spot of hot glue down to let that set up just a little bit. And then I'm going to start just putting it around the bottom part of it. At first I was thinking like, oh, I just need to put something underneath it and wrap the twine around it to make like a stem, but I just decided that this was going to work out a little bit better and cover up my spot that I have that has different material pattern to it, since I should not have cut the way I did. So be forewarned, if you do this, do not cut it off, just cut it open. And I'm just going to wrap it around, not worried about being too particularly neat. And you'll just do a little bits of hot glue as you go, kind of as you need it, as you feel like you need it. And you'll notice what's going to happen here. Your material is going to start to kind of gather and it's going to pull away from that bottom, but that's alright, because you're going to take that twine all the way down to the rest of the tree. And just keep on going until you end up getting it covered. And I believe here in a minute I do speed this up so you can, not sit here forever watching me wind a tree cone thing with twine. Like I said, I just kind of do it as I need to with the hot glue, trying to keep it kind of tight on there so it doesn't go all the way around, you don't have it come unraveled. And one thing you'll notice, you can kind of decide for yourself if you do this, how you would want to do it. If you want to keep it where you can't see any of the material underneath, or let it be kind of a little more open. And even if you end up with, like me, with that patch of material, it doesn't really make too much difference. If it's open a little, you're not going to be able to tell that there's a gap or a difference of material. So once we're all done, we're just gonna make sure if we have any little pieces hanging over, we're gonna just trim that off, and I'm gonna use my little detail scissors to kind of get in there, because that part I believe was kind of glued down to that little part of the cone. And it did not want to work with me, I tell you what. But you're just gonna want to get as close as you can to the twine so that you don't have a lot of it hanging out on the bottom part. And we're just about there. So there you go, he's all done with that part, and at this point it basically just looks like a hat. So I go in with some of these little lights from Walmart. I will say you can get some little twinkle lights from Dollar Tree as well. I like these just because they do have a timer feature, and you can really easily hide the battery pack underneath these little Christmas trees. You're just going to kind of wind it all in there, and I was just kind of seeing like how I wanted to do this, and you're just going to glue some of that down. I think I unraveled it a couple of times by accident, so when you're doing this, make sure you give it a spot to glue down, at the bottom. I try not to do too much glue, because just in case I want to, at the end of Christmas time or whatever, if I want to end up using this twinkle light set for something else, I can take it apart easily, as long as you don't glue a ton of it, down. So I believe I do, I think like one on the bottom, and then I'll do maybe like one in the middle somewhere, and one on the very top, as far as the beads of glue. See, there we have it now. And then I'm going to take this little star, and I'm going to hot glue it down to the top. And I do end up adding one on the other side too, because it needed it to, to kind of have it to where you can put it either side. And there it is. And this little string, it blinks, it's really cute. So next we're going to do the shadow box and our village house. And I tell you what, this village house was like the bane of my existence. I don't know. I ended up trying at one point to saw it. I couldn't get that to work. I tried to get like a heated up X-Acto knife. It just, I don't know. You'll see in the end how I ended up working it, but this project was, if it hadn't been part of the challenge, I probably would have just scrapped it. But first you're going to get off any little embellishments that you have on that shadow box, and I'm going to go in with my heat gun, and I'm going to well, first you just go ahead and pull off that little hanger part, and I'm going to try to loosen it up. I don't want to destroy everything, especially the outside part of the box. But I'm going to kind of heat up any of that adhesive to try to go in there and loosen it up so you can, you know, end up getting that backing off. And this little guy I actually got for my birthday. My husband got it for me. He did not even have to be told to get it. He got it, and I tell you what, I love it. It's actually a ceramic thing as opposed to the metal. The metal ones, I mean, I go through those little knives parts a lot faster than I think I'll go through the ceramic ones. And it did not, like I said, it did not want to come undone. Some of them are like super easy. You barely have to do anything to it. You barely apply like any pressure and it just comes apart. This guy, I tell you what, it must have been just glued, like an insane amount of glue on it or something. So I'm just, like I said, I'm trying not to destroy it. And it won't make much difference, as you'll see at the end of the video, or the end of this section at least. So I'm just trying to get it off. Mostly I think at this point I was like, I don't really want to have the paper rip. I think what I was originally expecting to do was to paint the back of it, but I didn't want to leave it, you know, all together and have to tape everything off. So finally I get it. And see, like I said, there was just a ton of glue on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I want to darken up that wood grain look. So I'm going to go in with some of this antique wax from Folk Art, and I'm just going to go over it, you know, with that brush. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to. And a trick too, if you want this antique wax to be lighter, what you can do is you can actually mix it with some of the clear. They make a clear one that works really well too. Alright, so next you're going to paint your house white, but now if you want to be able to get the look that I got, you're going to want it to take it apart. It doesn't seem like it's likely, but you can actually really take this thing apart. Just I didn't show it on here because it was rather violent, I have to say. So take your house apart first if you want the same look I did though. Alright, so I know you can see the house there. It's been painted white. Pretend it's not there right now. But what you're going to do is I destroyed the backing of my frame in trying to do something. So I ended up deciding to give it more of like this like shiplap look. So I got these giant popsicle sticks, and what I like to do to avoid them peeling on me is score them pretty good with your X-Acto knife where you're going to cut, and then go in and cut them. It'll cut a lot easier than just cutting it with a pair of scissors, which you can do as well. So for the color of them though, I wanted to give them kind of like a gray. So I'm going to mix some of this clear wax, I mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to mix just a tiny little bit of black. You want like, see, like to me this was too much, so I do end up adding in a little bit of white paint. I should have just added in more clear, to be honest, but because this is going to give it more of a painty feel to it, so you're just going to mix it up really good. So word to the wise though, add in more clear if you need to go lighter. And this ended up being a little bit too light, so I am going to just kind of go over all of those popsicle sticks with this one, and then I'm going to go back in after with a little bit darker of an application. So I'll just do that to all of those, and see, this is when I go in with it a little bit darker. I decided I needed a little darker tone to it. I wanted to stand out from that white house that's going to be in front of it, so I wanted some contrast. Otherwise I could definitely have just done white. And so now we're going to go ahead and assemble it. Like you can see the top there, that's kind of what happened with my little backing. I was trying to cut it out in the shape of the house, and I don't know why in the world I thought I could do that. But I was trying to make it out like where it's like three-dimensional, it comes out, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll buy two, you know, use two of those shadow boxes. I didn't have two. So this ended up being the best option I could go with. given the tools that I had. So what you'll do here is I'm just basically laying them all down, making sure they're going to fit at the end, and I'm giving it like that shiplap look, just doing hot glue as you go. I didn't want to do them in like one full shot because I would have felt rushed. And then there you go. It's all in there. See, it's kind of like a grayish tone. I'm pretty happy with it. So I tried to glue it on the back of them. That didn't really work, so I had to peel it off and just put the glue on the base of the house. And see, I just basically took off that front piece of the little house, and then I'm going to glue in a couple of little trees. Those are from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm pretty happy with the way it looks, and I'm going to use one of these little bows. You could certainly make your own. I've talked about how I am about making bows. This is just from like a 5-pack, I think, from Walmart. And once you are done with fluffing it up, just add your glue and apply it to your shadow box, and there you have it. It's really cute, I have to say. I might add some lights later. I love my lights, but there you go. It's all set. Now the next one we're going to do is going to use the galvanized bucket. So first you're going to remove all of that twine. I'm going to save that twine though, because it's rather nice. It's kind of thick, but not too thick, and it's not really stringy like some of it is. So we're going to use our garland. If I had the ties, I would be using those instead of this, but this is what I had. So you're just going to hot glue it down, and one thing you'll notice is use more glue on these things. They're super wiry with all the little, pine parts, pine leaves, whatever those things are called, those little wiry parts that come off of it. Those things just hold onto that glue, and you don't really get it on the part that you want. So word to the wise, just kind of do that. And then I'm gonna just trim it down with my wire clippers and just glue it down best you can. And what I like to do is I'm gonna go in later with some more glue. I have my little Dollar Tree clips. They're in the craft section, or you can buy really big ones in the automotive section. Alright, so next we're going to go in with our little reef picks. These are from Target. I like these better than the berries that I've seen from the Dollar Tree, so these are what I decided I wanted to use. And I took out just a few little picks. I think you get like 40 of those little ones in a bag, and what I'll do is I'm just going to hot glue them into kind of like an arrangement that I like. So like I wanted to have like 3 little berries on that one, and I think I do a couple of them with just berries by themselves on the little stick. And I think, like I said, I like them better than what I can get at the Dollar Tree. I don't care for the berries there. They're just styrofoam. These are plastic, so I feel like these have a little bit better longevity. So you'll just take them, not that you can see it because I was not very smart about how I did this and I have it out of frame, sorry about that, but you're going to go ahead and place it on here wherever you think makes the most sense. And then after I started to do, I think like the first one, I was like, you know what, it needs a little something. Not that you can see it, but I'm going to put in that white berry garland that is from the Dollar Tree. I have a ton of those little bundles. I just thought they were so pretty and cute. And I'm just going to wrap that around, and I believe I wrap it around twice. So you wrap it around, you don't even need a whole bundle to do it. And once you get to the point where you're happy, kind of like where it is, you're gonna just trim it off with your wire trimmers. And see those little clips on there? They are very handy for stuff like this because, it's wired, so it kind of wants to move around, and the hot glue, other than that, I guess you could just hold it there until the hot glue is dry enough, but those little clips are pretty handy. So once you got it there, you can kind of almost twist it to hold it in place and add the rest of the berries. I think I needed a little something more than just the berries. So, plus I didn't want to do tons of berries because I just wanted a little pop of that red against the green. And see, I'm just kind of making up the little groups that I like. And these little things, if you find them from Target, they're just in the little Christmas section. They're really easy to work with. So I'm just going to place them all on there with some hot glue. And see, it's, like I said, I got it clipped all together, but it's there. So next, this might be cheating. Sorry, Mimi. This might be cheating, but I'm going to go in with my Cricut. I was going to use some foam letters, but I was doing it and I needed like every S in the entire pack and I had to paint them and I was not a fan. And I didn't have stickers. I don't really have a lot of letter stickers because I have a Cricut. So you could definitely use stickers. I would recommend that over the foam letters unless you have like 4 packs of those foam letters, because you need a lot of S's if you're going to repeat this exact phrase. So what I'm doing Christmas kindness. So I'm going to add that decal onto this little bucket. And then in a minute, you'll see is I'm going to add some popsicle sticks with those like Dollar Tree stickers, because on those little popsicle sticks, I went ahead and just wrote out a few like kind acts for my kids to do over Christmas. See, there they are. Yeah, I just got some stuff like do something nice for your sibling, or do an extra chore, or play a game with the family. Just things that are just nice. So I'll probably add some more, and here and there, especially during like the Christmas break when my kids are at home, or at least my son will be at home. I don't know if my daughter will be, but my son will be at home. He's older, and I'll just tell him, go get one of those sticks out, and maybe we'll make like a game of it or something. So I'm gonna take the tinsel from the tree and I'm gonna put them in there and just have that hold it in place. Alright, and here are all of the finished projects. This was a really fun challenge, and if you guys out there make a YouTube video, especially if you do something like this, let me know. Let Mimi know. It's going to be a lot of fun, and don't forget to go check out her video that she made with the same or similar items, and definitely don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.